my goodness. Okay, well, speaking of the single, Would Have Loved Her. And like I said, I'm telling you, this song, when I watched that music video, like the stripped music video, and just the scenery, everything was so breathtaking. So let's dive into that because we have to talk about that. But just first, like writing this song, I feel like it's a pretty like vulnerable, emotional song. Like, where were you at in your head? I know that you were thinking of your grandfather. Can you kind of take fans through that?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I kind of keep my phone on me at all times in case a lyric comes to mind or a title or a melody that I can just write it down real quick or sing it into my phone. And I had this title for a really long time, and I brought it into a few writes. And, you know, being a country music songwriter, since it wasn't about beers or trucks or girls, a lot of people kind of passed. And I remember I was writing with a good friend of mine that day, Zach Kale, and I told him, I said, hey, I've got this idea. You know, I've brought it into a few writes, and I think we can write a great song about it. But at the time, I was thinking about my grandpa who passed away 6 months before I met my girlfriend. And I explained that to him, and I explained the title, that I knew if my grandpa would have met her, that he would have loved her as much as I do. And so he was like, man, I love that. And I was kind of telling him how I wanted to write the song. And he shared with me that his father actually passed away before he met his wife. And we kind of looked at each other and we knew that that was the song that we needed to write that day. And it was funny because it was the last song that I wrote in 2019. And we didn't get the demo back until probably February of 2020. And at this point, we had the EP, my debut EP, what we thought mixed, mastered, ready to go. And I turned the song into my manager, who sent it to the label, and everybody said, we need to find a time that you can get back to Nashville because this song needs to go on the EP. And I'm so glad that I had a team that was willing to, you know, do that and go back into the studio and make sure that it was right and not feel rushed. And so we put it out on the EP. And we shot that music video. A good friend of mine, Dustin Haney, who's directed all of my music videos, we were kind of, you know, throwing ideas back and forth. And we knew that we wanted to do something that didn't take away from the message of the song. So we wanted to do it as simple as possible and let the song kind of speak for itself and have this video just kind of pour gasoline on the fire, if you will.
Well, you definitely accomplished that. It is a tearjerker, and people here in the chat are just saying it's such a touching story. And I mean, honestly, I have to say, I'm very surprised that you said writers would pass on that idea. I mean, I guess if you're writing for like a hit at radio, like the idea would be to like go for like the trucks and all of that stuff. So I'm glad Zach wanted to write that, but I'm also just surprised people would pass because like we're all about these stories like this in country music.
Absolutely. And that's what I fell in love with country music in the first place for, was the storytelling and the lyrics. And that's one of the things that I think make great songs are stories like that. So I'm very glad that Zach wanted to dive into this song with me the way that he did.
Well, how about the rest of your family? Like, what was their reaction? I imagine they got emotional when they heard it too.
Oh yeah, everybody has loved it. You know, I get notifications on Facebook of when we post something about it, everybody sharing it and stuff like that. So I feel like it has. I feel like I've honored my grandfather very well with that. Because it could go either way, and I'm glad that they love it as much as I do.
Oh yeah. So let's see. You mentioned your debut EP, so that came out last year. Releasing your this self-titled EP in the middle of a pandemic. What was that like? Like, do you feel like it kind of helped in a sense because you were there to like do these lives and kind of get it out there?
Yeah, it was one of those things where we had a plan to release it a little bit later in the year, like August or September, before the world shut down. Our plan was to release it late summer, and we were hopping on all of these Facebook Lives and Instagram Lives and stuff like that. And we realized how much music was an escape for people. and how much there was a need for music. So I threw the idea out to release it a little bit earlier than we had originally planned. We had the music ready to go. And so this is just a testament to my team. You know, I bumped the date up quite a few months, and the fact that they were willing to do that and put in all the hard work that goes into releasing a project was so incredible, that they were able to do all this stuff, make sure every I was dotted, every T was crossed, and make sure that we released it the correct way, as opposed to just throwing it up there and hoping that somebody would listen. So that was awesome. And to be able to get back out now, we haven't really played any shows after releasing it. So to be able to play these songs and have people sing them back at the shows is a great feeling.
Oh, I bet. That's one thing I will say I miss about concerts. Like, I always will get goosebumps, like when you hear the audience singing back. And doing these live shows, but there's no audience. And so it's like, I miss that. So hopefully we'll get to that soon.